Good morning. And I wasn't going to make another video talking about this because I've already made 2 videos and I thought I'd pretty much done it to death. But as time goes on, we hear more and we find out that more developers have pulled their games from the service. And what I'm talking about is Geforce Now. And we already knew that Activision Blizzard had taken their games off the service, so no Call of Duty for all you Call of Duty fans. And then subsequent to that, we had Bethesda doing the same. So the only game they left on there was Youngblood. Yeah, they left that on there, and I've already talked about that, so I'm not going to go into that again. But we also know that Konami haven't got their games on there, Capcom, and it looks like EA as well. So when you're actually trying to go in and find a game to play, it's getting increasingly difficult to do that. I was actually playing with my GPD XD yesterday, and I had a look at xCloud, and that worked pretty well. And then I looked at Geforce Now as well. And Geforce Now, well, it worked technically, and it was a good experience. Actually finding a game to play on there, well, it's getting increasingly difficult. And now we've heard that another developer has pulled their game as well. And that's Hinterland Studios. Now, Hinterland make The Long Dark. And I think it was the lead developer of The Long Dark took to Twitter to explain why they'd done it, and this is what he said. Sorry for those who are disappointed you can no longer play The Long Dark on Geforce Now. Nvidia didn't ask our permission to put the game on the platform, so we asked them to remove it. Please take your complaints to them, not us. Devs should control where their games exist. Yeah, there's only a slight problem there though, Raphael? And that's the fact that we've bought these games. So you may have made the game, but we've already paid our cash for that game. Because just to give a potted history of the way this works, you buy your game on Steam or some other platform for the PC. And then what you're doing is you're going to Nvidia and you're in effect renting a server. You're renting server space so you can play the game you own via streaming. You're not buying the game on Geforce Now. You already own the game. Or you can go and buy the game on Steam, and then Geforce Now will allow you to stream it. Except for now, in many cases, you can't. And this idea that developers should control where their games exist is nonsensical in that circumstance because, well, you've bought the game. It's not like you're having the choice to have the game on one service or another service. You know, you can go out and buy the game on one service and play it happily. But what Raphael is in effect saying here is that he thinks if you want to be able to play it on Geforce Now or any other streaming service, you should have to pay for it again. But I've already bought it, Raphael. Or in my case, I haven't already bought it. I was actually considering buying your game, Raphael. I looked at it several times and it was one of those on the back burner for me. I think it's actually on my Steam wish list. And I could check that, but I'm not going to do that now. But I'll tell you this, Raphael. I'm not going to buy your game now. Because if, for some reason, my PC isn't working, or if I'm somewhere where I can't access my PC and I want to use Geforce Now to access your game, I can't. Because you've pulled your game from the service because you think you should control how I play the game. The game that I've bought. And he goes on to say, there's nothing newsworthy or shocking about our decision here. The shocking part is people's reaction to it. No, it's not, mate. I'm sorry, but people wanting to be able to play the games they've bought is not a shocking thing. People wanting to be able to play the games they've bought is perfectly bloody reasonable. He goes on to say, Nvidia admitted they made a mistake releasing without our permission. They haven't released anything. I don't care what Nvidia said. They're trying to play nice. The reality is they haven't released the game on their service. The game is on Steam or whatever platform that you've bought it on. It would be Steam for me. And he says they apologised asked us if we would like to stay on the platform, and we said not at the moment. So yeah, Raphael, you're basically saying no, we don't want people to be able to play their games by streaming them. Now, let me just be clear here for a moment. There's precedent for this. We already know that you can have your own music, the music that you've bought, in digital form, and you can use Deezer, Google Play, Apple Music to upload your music and then stream it. They're not saying you can't do that because, the publishers of the music aren't saying, well, I'm surprised that they haven't tried it, to be honest, but they haven't. The music you've bought, you can go onto one of these services and you can then stream the music you have bought. So it's a perfectly reasonable thing. And if you think about it for 5 minutes, it is perfectly reasonable. I've bought the game. Me, not you, Raphael, I should have control over where I play it and on what platform I play it. If I'm streaming it, what's the problem? I've bought the game. You want me to buy it again? That's what this is about, isn't it? You want me to buy the game again. And I'll go down because he says this. He goes on to say, remember, the most customer-friendly thing you can do as a dev is run a sustainable business so that you can support your game and your customers into the future. Controlling your own content is key to that. Right. Customer-friendly. Right. A sustainable business. Right. Well, let me ask you this, Raphael. Is it a sustainable business if people don't buy it because they can't play it? Because that's what might happen. I know people. Jason is one of the guys on my Discord, and he doesn't have, and I've mentioned this before, he doesn't have a powerful PC. So he uses Geforce Now and has been using Geforce Now while it was in beta to play a lot of games. And guess what? He bought those games. Yeah, that's right, Raphael. He bought those games. And now, guess what, Raphael? He can't play those games anymore because he doesn't have a powerful enough PC. He still bought them, but you're telling him, because he doesn't have a powerful enough PC and because he's using Geforce Now to rent some server space, you don't want him playing your game. So I'm going to put this out there now, right? If you haven't got a powerful PC and you're looking at Geforce Now and there's people out there that you want to play their games, don't buy their games. Don't buy their games. Don't buy games by people like Raphael van Leerop because they're too greedy and they want you to buy them again. They probably want you to buy them on the Xbox, the PlayStation, the Switch if it's on there, I don't know. PC, you name it, your toaster. They would like you to double, triple, quadruple dip. That's what they want you to do. This is about money. This isn't about letting people, use the games where they want to use them, but, paying a fair amount of money, because it's not a fair amount of money to expect people to pay for something more than once, is it? Is it, Raphael? Is it? Is it reasonable and acceptable to expect people to pay for the thing they've already paid for again and again and again? And somebody here says, and, you always get people who will defend the indefensible. And this guy here says, or girl, woman, whatever, says, ignore the entitled whiners and keep doing what is right for you. Your game is solid. It's a true gem of a survival game. Yeah, that a lot of people now can't play. People will not stop playing because you pulled it from there. Well, they will, if that's the only way they can bloody well play it, won't they? Good Christ, woman. Pay attention. The best one I saw here, if I can find it, was the response down here somewhere. And here we go. Damon X. I thought this was excellent. So let me put this into a few points. 1. A customer buys your game full price. 2. They rent out a PC from Geforce Now so they can stream it and play it because their own PC does not meet the requirements. There's the point I was making and I've made repeatedly. It's simple. And then he goes on to say, you remove the game from Geforce Now and render that consumer unable to play your game. Yep, 10 out of 10. Best pro consumer move. Outstanding. Great PR. Would buy again. Spot on, mate. I don't know who you are, but you nailed it. That's exactly right. Terrible PR, terrible customer service, and you want to talk about people being whiners and entitled? I'll tell you who's being entitled here. Raphael van Lierop. He's the one being entitled because, as I said before, he wants you to pay multiple times for the same bloody game. And I'll say it again. You're not buying the game from Nvidia. You're buying the game on Steam. You've already paid your money. Nvidia are just giving you options as to how you play it. And that's reasonable and it's fair and it's consumer friendly. And what Raphael's saying here, bloody well isn't. You want to sustain your business? Be reasonable. Because otherwise, people are going to stop buying your games. If you want to be greedy, carry on, mate. Because I'm not going to be buying your game now. Sustain that.